Today I'm going to teach you how to make pictures of Ashiins. Let's go. Alright, so first you set your brush with the two, you start up a new layer, and then what you do is you start off with drawing. Make sure you're on black color, by the way, you can't see it though. You draw two lines, make them a good bit apart, you draw an angle like that, connect, little squiggly line, more squiggle, more squiggle, more squiggle. The more smooth it is, usually the better it comes out. Then, two straight lines, JoJo chisel, nose, mouth. Then, here's the fun part, triangle. You draw two little arteries right there. Big, big buff. Alright, now that you've done that, you just add more buff. You want them to be obscenely buff. Just like so obscenely buff that it's laughable. And then you add a little pelvis right there. You would add legs if you wanted to. And then what you do, big bulky arms. Mostly made from circles. Usually keep the hands off frame. If you have a hand in frame, good luck. Hands are hard to draw. Try and get it as smooth but buff looking as possible. Alright, now that you've made your stupidly buff Ashin, what you do now is you add another layer, put it behind the Ashin. Draw some D's. They're pretty easy to draw. You just first you draw a C, cube C that's backwards. Then you draw a triangle like that. You do this. Then you add two cubes behind it. Boom. Alright, you go over to your fill tool, which you can reach by pressing F. Then you can't see it, but you would set your color. We'll start off with the Ashen to a nice darkish red, I would say, somewhere around there. And then you color in his hair. Make sure to have it set to multiply, so it does a nice outline. Otherwise, it'll look like that. And then what you do is you go off of multiply for a split second. Select the lighter red, draw stripes. Add a little bit of shading here and there. You don't have to do this, completely optional, but it makes it look more funny. Because it looks like you put effort into it. Alright, and then after you've done doing that, you select a new color. I would make it a more skin-toned orange. You look kind of like a certain politician we don't talk about. Alright, fill it in. That's too dark. Brighten it up. If you have paint on that, you'll be able to see the color thing. OBS doesn't record that, sadly. Make sure you're on multiply for filling the stuff in, by the way. Then you just do that. You do that. You can change the color a little bit as you go if you want. Make it darker, lighter, purely aesthetic. Oops. Alright, then what you do is you do the fill tool on one of the outlines and you get this. And what you do is you set it to pure red. And you get a nice, weird looking outline. If there's some parts that don't have it, do that. Alright, and now that you made your truly cursed Ashen, back to your menacing symbol. It's back on another layer. You get whatever color you want, although I prefer purple, so let's get a nice purple. That's a pink. Yeah, that'll do. Alright, now while still on multiply, just use the same color and give it little details. And then you fill in these, still on multiply. Doesn't matter how perfect this looks, there'll be a lot of it. And then what you do, here's the magic trick. You clone the layer. There's a duplicate layer button down here. It looks like two squares overlapping. Then you duplicate it. You want to be on the move tool. Its shortcut key is M. And then you just drag it around. Although mind you, when you duplicate the layer, it automatically puts you onto the move selected pixels thing. Alright. And then you just use the merge. Also, if you want to deselect it, you use the magic wand, which is shortcut key SSS. You gotta press it 4 times. And then you just click off. Alright, and now what you do is you use the merge layer down button. and you merge all of the menacing layers together. Alright, then what you do is you make another layer, you put it below the menacing, then you select a nice aura color. I like a deep red. And then what you do is you also want to make it transparent. Then what I do is I give them a nice outline like this. Doesn't have to be perfect. You just draw it out, around them. Then you just use the fill tool, set the tolerance down so it works, and boom, you have a standout line. And then what you do is you take the background, you take out your fill tool, and then you get whatever kind of color you want. I usually do a dark gray, maybe like kind of like that. And then completely optional, you do shading. So use the color picker T K. Boom. All right, now that you've gotten that, you set a dark. Always make sure to have at least some below the hairline though, or else it'll look weird. And boom, you have Ashen. Now what you do is you go over the file, and then you save as, and you can type in whatever name you want and save it wherever you want. And boom, easy, 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 easy. Also make sure to save it as a .png. You can't post .pdns, which is the normal format they save it in. So when you do save as, there'll be a box below the name, and you can just select down the .png. Just like that, you have an Ashen.